Hello from the Music Interview Corner. Today from LA, from the legendary Whisky A Go Go with the legendary Swedish metal band HammerFall. Hi Joacim.
Hello, how are you?
Good, good.
Awesome.
And hi Oscar, how are you?
Hello, I'm pretty good, yeah. Just happy to be here.
Yes, and thank you so much for taking time for an interview with us. Your new album Dominion came out 3 weeks ago, and it's already in the charts in 8 countries. I think Sweden, Switzerland, Germany, UK, Finland, Canada, the US and Austria. How does it feel for you?
Well, it feels really, really good. This is kind of a receipt that we did something, pretty good, I would say. First of all, we were very satisfied with the outcome ourselves, and then when you present it to the fans and to the people, you don't really know how they will, react. So
Now you know.
now we know, and I mean the number 2 in Sweden, number 2 in Switzerland, and number 4 in Germany. That is amazing, amazing.
Yes, the Europeans have a good taste, I would say.
They have, yes, we do.
Yes. And congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And how does it feel for you?
No,
did you say
I mean,
everything?
yeah, I mean, no. But it's like when you work for, months and months, maybe more than a year sometimes, to write songs and record them and everything. And then when you're done, you live with the songs for so long that you might have a fantastic feeling. You feel this is the best song we've ever done. But you don't know if that's going to translate to the other, the people who are listening, the ones who are actually buying the stuff. So like Joacim said, it's a relief now when we're finally done. People seem to be on the same page as we are. And that's always a really good feeling.
It's so weird because we recorded this album in January, February, and did the mix in March. So for us, this album is kind of it belongs to the past.
Yeah.
And now it's being released, and people are starting to talk about it. And like, what are you talking about? The new album? Well, that was like 6 months ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's really hard to get along with that feeling, I would say.
A bit like time travel.
Something like that. Yeah, but we're stuck here anyway, so.
And do you have a favorite song on Dominion and why?
All of them, and because they're great.
Oh, that's a very good answer.
No, I mean, ask me again in maybe a year or two. I might have some, but it's also very difficult because when you are on stage playing, you only play a couple of the songs. And that's the sort of the bad thing about having a lot of albums, because you can't play all the songs anymore. And it makes you feel like that some songs are going to be left out. It makes you feel sorry for those songs because you know that they are good too. They just didn't. There was no space for them.
Everyone has their own personal favorite when it comes to the fans. And why didn't you play this song? Why didn't you play that song? Well, we only had like 2 hours, and if we would play every song that everyone want to hear, that's going to be like 10 hours.
Oh yeah, maybe you could plan that for the future, a very special event.
Yes, that's going to be very expensive tickets, I assume.
And some breaks so that you can get some sleep in between.
No, we don't do that.
We got a couple of instrumental songs we can throw in there.
Yes, thank you.
That's a great idea.
No,
And then you just
it's really
It's
not
a horrible idea.
I would still love to see it. Let me know when you're doing this. I like to come.
Okay, yeah,
But I will bring a pillow so I can nod off a little bit if I'm too tired in between. You worked with James Michael of 6 a.m. and he produced the album alongside you and Pontius, right?
Not really. It's
Sorry.
Pontius Pilatus. No. So the thing is, with the producer we actually did work with is called Fredrik Nordström from Sweden. He's the guy who produced our first 2 albums and a million other Swedish, mostly death metal bands. So he's the grandfather of the Gothenburg sound, you could say. But the album actually, I would say, if you're really being honest, Pontus and Fredrik, and more Pontus than Fredrik actually. Fred did the producing of the album, and I was helping it as well as whatever my role is. But what you're talking about, James Michael, is the vocals, and that's where Joacim comes in.
He's part of the production team, I would say. There's a very strong team around HammerFall, and you can't really say that this person or that person produced the album because there are so many people involved. But when it comes to the vocals, I mean, working with James is fantastic. We're really close friends now, and he knows exactly how to make me be at my best in the studio at all times. He knows what buttons to push, so to speak.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so that's a really good relationship we have there, and it's always nice to come to LA also to work here. It's easier to get the motivation.
Yes, and good that we're talking about it because the internet says like these are the producers, and it's good to see like the facts behind now.
Yeah, I mean, I think this comes from the record label, to be honest, because I know I've seen that mistake. They thought James produced the whole
They
album.
sent it to me.
Yeah,
That's the information I got.
We corrected them already once or twice, but it seems to have slipped through. So that's. I mean, James is heavily involved, but only in the vocals for this album. He did produce "Infected" for us, though, like from start to finish.
But still, it's the band playing, so I mean,
Yes,
yeah,
and like a team effort. And
it's a team effort, absolutely, except for the vocals.
oh yeah, exactly. That's only you, right? And a little bit of James.
Yeah, no,
Good that we're saying that. Shall I write a disclaimer here? That was only Joacim, the
I
vocals.
produced the album.
Yes, only Joacim. Just that you know, guys. That's important to know. Yeah. You also have a very impressive music video for Dominion. How did you come up with this idea?
We went back to Belgrade, to the iCode team again. The last video we did for them was Enemies Necessary, or not for them, with them, and that was really an impressive and massive video. And we have to realize that now in the year 2019, the video budget is kind of half what we had 10, 15 years ago, and if you want to have a lot of value for the money spent, you have to go elsewhere, and in Serbia. The money's worth a lot more, and we played them the song, or actually they got the lyrics first, and they came up with a short script, like an idea for the song, and we said, cool, let's do it. We just want to have a feeling that the location is pandemonium, the capital of hell.
Yeah.
That is kind of the feeling we wanted to come across in the video, and I think it's cool. It turned out really good, and with the lyrics and kind of the feel of the song and the artwork, everything kind of speaks the same language here.
Yeah, I love that you are fearless in the middle of the demons. That's amazing. Do you want to add something to that?
No, it's fine.
You can ask me something. Sure.
You want to ask me something?
Yeah, who are you again?
Oh yeah, my name is Katie. I'm a German girl from Finland, and I'm working for the Web TV channel Music Interview Corner, and we love especially metal bands.
That's good.
Especially metal bands who have such a cool message like you have. Maybe we should talk about the message in your songs and why that is important to you. Who wants to start?
Doesn't really matter.
No, I can say a few words. I mean, usually Joacim writes almost all the lyrics, so all the messages is from his brain and his heart and his mind. So, but we have some like throughout the career of HammerFall, some of this, what I like to call is the heavy metal spirit, sort of permeates a lot of the lyrics, which is live your life according to your own rules on your own terms. Because you're in charge of your own life, basically, and doesn't matter what anybody else says.
I like that.
Yes, that we have a couple of songs about that, but of course he's going to tell you that all of the songs are completely different because they are. So it's a whole novel you can talk about with this.
Every song is unique, and it's kind of the feeling I get when I hear the music. Usually I know exactly what I'm going to write about, and I don't want to give away any subjects or anything like that, because that would be ruin the experience for people listening to it. I mean, every song is personal, I would say. That if you listen to it, you might get one idea what the song is all about. But someone else, maybe your best friend, is listening to the same song, but she or he will say, no, that's not what this song means. Well, maybe not to you, but to me, it is like that. And I just want to, tell good stories, No matter if it's just if it's about a warrior or if it's about daily life of a metal dude or whatever, a good story is a good story.
Yeah, you just mentioned the warrior and you mentioned the album artworks. You always have Hector the warrior on your covers. How did you come up with this character and the idea to use him on your covers, on all of your covers?
I mean, this was way back in the 90s.
1993, I guess?
No, well, 1996, I would say the Warrior came alive, or 97.
Yeah, 97 probably early, I would say. We had an album cover that we wanted for Glorious of the Brave that the record label Nuclear Bass said, are you crazy? No way, we're not putting out an album like that.
They're so open nowadays.
Yeah,
Maybe you made them like that.
They didn't understand what we wanted. And in all honesty, it didn't look very good,
No.
Oh.
So we're happy that they made us change
budget
it.
whatsoever, and this was kind of it's good enough, No one's going to buy this album anyways.
Exactly. Well, that was kind of the feeling, you know. We didn't really have any hopes or aspirations because there were. It was you would be a lunatic if you thought this music would go anywhere in '96, '97. What really happened was they suggested maybe this guy, Andreas Marschall from Germany, can paint your album cover. He's done recently, at that point, recently for In Flames. He done for Running Wild, Blind Guardian, a bunch of big bands. So we said, okay, sure, let's give it a shot. And I guess the idea for to have some sort of icon, an iconic character, that was our idea. You know, we said we want to have a guy that even if you take away the logo and the title of the album, you're still going to see that guy and know that this is a HammerFall album. That was the sort of the point for everything. But then, of course, we're a heavy metal band. There's a lot of fighting and nights and stuff. So that's how I guess he interpreted everything. And but he created Hector from the beginning. And I think this is only a theory, but I think he was a little bit inspired by this Japanese samurais as well as medieval Europe.
It's also a good thing that we got a guy actually holding a hammer, because otherwise, I think people would question about, okay, is it Thor? Is it Thor's hammer? Like, no, it's not Thor. And no, it's not Thor on the album cover either. Look at him. Yeah. Does he look like Thor?
He doesn't, guys. He really doesn't. Please comment, he doesn't. So.
Yeah.
And he evolved, right? I feel he looks kind of stronger and a bit scarier on this album cover for Dominion.
Yeah, but now it was time to make a little change, I think. He needed to, I mean, he has a helmet on, so you can't see his face. You can't see the expression. That limits the experience or the possibilities to have him do things. So he needs to just change postures all the time, and it gets kind of boring, I would say.
Yeah.
But now we just want, to add like a demonic feel to him.
So he can fight, can stand up in hell?
Yeah, he can fight. Well, maybe he's supposed to be in hell. Who knows?
Oh.
He's the dude.
Oh yeah, that's possible.
He's the dude. And but now also this album artwork and also we worked with Samwise Didier before, but he kind of took Hector into the future more or less. I think he made a modern Hector with the new album.
He looks more modern. Yeah, I would say so.
Meanwhile, Andreas Marschall, he's kind of stuck in the old style, like in the 80s, in the 90s. But Sam really took this kind of HammerFall Hector 2.0.
Oh yes. Yes, wonderful.
I don't think that HammerFall should be put in the power metal genre. I think we've never belonged there really, because when we started there were no such thing as what you call power metal today. It evolved at the end of the 90s, probably with HammerFall and others, but we never belonged to that style. I think just because we had a song on the first album called The Dragon Lies Bleeding, people sort of lumped us in together with that, and especially since maybe Renegade or Crimson Thunder and on, I definitely don't think we belong anywhere near that, because for me the power metal term is very limited. It doesn't contain all the stuff that we have had on all of the albums that we've done, more or less. It's maybe more a personal opinion than anything else, but I don't like to be lumped into a genre where I don't feel that we have anything to do with, really. It's not that I don't like it, it's just that I think HammerFall's music is much more varied than what I hear when I think about power metal.
Okay, good that we're discussing that. I know also that some band members like Frederick have a strong background in death metal, for example. Would you say that influences your work too?
Well, Frederick and I actually used to play together in a death metal band once upon a time in 93, 94. Death metal is a different category. I think for me, when I was young, I was really into it and I loved playing it. I thought it was the greatest thing that I ever did. But it also was, for me, I had all my roots in heavy metal. So when I was sort of done with death metal, I realized, okay, this is where I belong. And it doesn't matter that it's 1993 and that nobody else listens to it. I don't care. I just want to do what I want to do.
I noticed that a lot of the coolest metal bands from Sweden are from Gothenburg, like you and In Flames and At the Gates. Yeah, they were all on our show. Yeah, so greetings.
Hi guys.
Yeah, would you say that Gothenburg has some kind of metal mojo going on?
It's been going on for a very long time, I would say, and even though Oscar called him the grandfather of the Gothenburg sound, I would say the founding father.
That's actually what I was going for. I misspoke.
Yeah, he's old, but not that old.
Oh, he's actually a grandfather at times 3 or 4.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so it was.
So he's a grandfather.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like the melodic death metal wave, the Gothenburg sound, it all started there, and it's been a great, that inspired the whole world, I would say, this melodic death metal, and became a thing worldwide, that they were influenced by the Gothenburg sound. And of course, parts of the Gothenburg sound also ended up on the first HammerFall album, also on the second album, because that's the same producer. And I mean, there's a lot of great talent in Gothenburg, I would say, in comparison to Stockholm. No offense, guys, I live in Stockholm now, but that
really?
was a lot of
How could you?
I think the punk was still a big part of the heavy metal and the death metal scene there. It was a little rougher, a little more straight in the face.
Yeah, it's a great mixture. I love it.
Yeah.
I found something when I researched. The internet told me that in the year 2008 you participated in the show Sjöslaget. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Was it? How do you call it?
No, it's
like Körslaget.
Or Könsslaget.
Oh, okay. Now that's funny. Okay, Danish is not good enough to speak Swedish apparently. So yeah, it's for everyone else. It's the Swedish version of a Clash of the Choirs.
Exactly.
Yes, and your team won. What did inspire you to do that? To be part of this show?
I mean, I got the question, of course, if I wanted to be part of it, and I said, nah, I don't think this is something for me, because I know that they're gonna kind of set the rules, and I have to follow. They're gonna dictate the rules.
You're not living life on your own terms, right?
No, and I said, well, if I'm gonna do this, one, I'm gonna pick all the songs myself. Two, and I'm also gonna pick all the members of the choir. And I said, well, yeah, okay, you can do that. So of course, then it was kind of a cool thing for me to do. I had the time to set off 8 weeks, but I thought, well, I'm going to be in the first episode, the second one, but that's it. Then I'm going to come back for the final. That's the way it works. But I just put together the greatest choir ever, and it was so much fun. And I think what we did, that we showed the mainstream audience that heavy metal music and hard rock music are great compositions. It doesn't really matter how you present them. So we took off all the sharp corners, all the spikes and all the studs and all the chains, and there we presented it in a nicer way, and people loved it. Old ladies came to me when I was grocery shopping and said, you know what? I never thought I would say I'm a hard rocker. Oh, cool. Never too late.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So this was really cool, I would say, and I'm just happy that, because I was the underdog of this show. We were 8 people, and the other 7 were more, well-known, established names, and my name was not established due to the fact that I was part of a band. So I became Joacim of HammerFall, being this guy. I think this was episode 5 or 6. I wanted to do Carmina Burana from Carl Orff. But they said, no, this is mainstream TV, no classical shit here. And I said, you know what? This is more metal than anything else we've done on this show. We're going to do this. And they said no, and I said, yes, we are. So
and you had it in the contract that you were allowed to pick the songs, right?
So they had a crisis meeting, and then they said, okay, you can do it. And we did it. And the whole phone, where people calling, switchboard collapsed after we did the song, because everyone was voting on all the different artists, but when we did that song, everyone was no, only Team Cans. Yeah, so that was really cool.
That's amazing. Little revolution. You created a little revolution.
I mean, there were some of the other contestants that they didn't really rehearse with their choir. They just showed up when it was time for the live broadcast, but I was with my choir the whole time, because it was my name up there. And if something's going to go wrong, no one's going to remember the people inside the choir, but the person in front of it.
Yeah, it's you.
For me, this was a matter of life and death.
And I think it's also typical metal, I think, to stick together like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We had a reunion last year, 10-year reunion, and it felt like it was, yesterday.
Cool.
Fantastic.
What is the craziest thing you ever did on tour, if you want to share?
I don't know. What did we do?
What did you do?
I don't know. I don't know. I hate these questions because I can never remember. Like maybe tonight or tomorrow I will remember a really great story, but I'm not good when I'm put on the spot like that. So, but he's
maybe next time then.
Yeah.
So many things have happened. We toured for over 22 years now. And I mean, we left our drummer at a gas station once, and we.
Oh, really?
I was going to say, I was always getting back to that one.
That's still like classic, like a Spinal Tap moment.
How did that happen?
Oscar can tell you that.
Well, this was on a tour in the U.S. actually with Death, the death metal band, and this was in 1998. So we were really green. Was probably our first really long tour, at least, and that wasn't, but it was our second year of touring anyway. So we're really green. Our drummer didn't speak great English, and all of the shows we did were late. So we stopped at a truck stop in the middle of nowhere on the way to the next city at like 3 or 4 and had late dinner, early breakfast, whatever. So we all got out of the bus into the diner, sat down, and everybody ate, but Patrick was a little bit tired, I thought. We all thought. So he said, in his broken English, he said, "I'm gonna go buy Snickers and then I'm gonna go to bed." But everybody thought he was saying sneakers for some reason. What the hell is he talking about? Is he going to buy sneakers at 4 in the morning in a gas station? But anyway, so he took off. But what he didn't do was go to bed. So nobody bothered to count him in, because his on the bus you have these curtains. So we left. Everybody went to bed after that. This was in New Jersey, I believe, on the way from New York or New Jersey to Ohio. It was in Cleveland or Columbus, maybe.
Where it can get cold in the night, right?
This was. No, I want to say October, November, maybe.
November.
Yeah.
But he was still, at the gas station.
Yes.
No worries.
So what happened was he looked out the window and saw our bus drive off, and he's like, "Oh, these guys, they're fucking with me. They're coming back." But we didn't, because nobody knew. So, and also this is 98. You don't have cell phones, and especially Patrick didn't have any phone numbers either. So he had one phone number, which was his mom.
He had no money.
No
money either.
He had a few dollars because he's playing pinball all night. So he had a few dollars, not much, but not enough to take himself anywhere. But he could make a phone call anyway. So he called his mom, and by that time it was morning in Sweden. His mother called Nuclear Blast, the record label in Germany, who in turn tried to get a hold of our tour manager's, I guess, merchandise, but he was working for Nuclear Blast at that time, and he was on tour with us. So they called him, and he had his phone charging in the, not at his bunk, so his phone was on charging. So when he woke up in the morning, he had a million missed calls, and then things started to unravel. And then by then we've driven for like 6 hours or 10 hours, whatever, I don't know.
And I woke up. Then I woke up, I came into the front lounge, he was sitting there, and he looked at me, Joacim, we have a problem.
Yeah.
What? Patrick is still at the gas station.
It was a big mess, but it was also, like Joacim said, one of those Spinal Tap moments. Then it was horrible, but he actually managed, because somebody from Nuclear Blast lived in New Jersey or something, took him to an airport, put him on a plane to Columbus, and he arrived, I don't think in time for the show, but
the show was cancelled. He made it in time for the show, but we cancelled the show anyways because the club was so shitty. Yeah.
Oh, okay, not because of that, but because the club was shitty.
It was actually Chuck's decision to cancel everything. It was their tour.
We just agreed. Yeah, cool. Let's fuck this shit. We had no idea, why. No, we trusted him.
And now you got a new drummer, right?
Several since then, but yeah.
And did you leave any of the other drummers?
No, but I'm getting the feeling that it might be time for David to be left.
Actually, Patrick twice.
Oh yeah.
Really? Oh my God.
We did.
But the second time we just said, everyone here? Yeah. Well, wrong question. Ask if Patrick is here. Oh, is Patrick here? Stop the bus.
That took us maybe a half hour to go back, so we learned really quickly. But he also thought we were joking then, but which we weren't. But what are you gonna do? Spinal Tap is Spinal Tap. Yes. It's a funny moment. Now this is 21 years later. So
I think the laundry is done now. I have to go.
Oh yes. Thank you so much for the interview, and goodbye from the Music Interview Corner.
Thank you.
Yay.
Cheers.